We will now call a common council meeting of March 3rd, 2026 to order. Roll call, please.
Alderwoman Haas. Here. Lorick.
Here.
Ritz. Here. Alderwoman Marshall is excused. Alderman Gale.
Here.
Guzekowski.
Here. Everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Greg, you want to start us off?
The flag of the United States to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God.
Okay, item 3 will bring us to approval of minutes of February 16th, 2026. Give you all a moment to look them over. And if there's any discussions, errors, omissions, corrections, please take the floor. Satisfied there's no discussion? Motion.
Clerk moves to approve the minutes of 2/16/26.
A second.
Roll call.
Alderwoman Haas. Aye. Lorick.
Aye.
Ritz.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Item 4 under new business is consideration of a motion to approve a plan of finance for $4 million general obligation promissory notes. This is Series 2026A and $2,400,000 taxable general obligation promissory notes. These are Series 2026B. Max.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor and Common Council. Max Gagan, Deputy City Administrator and Finance Officer. So before you tonight is the plan of finance, and it's for the issuance of $4 million of tax-exempt general obligation promissory notes for the purpose of our annual enhanced surface transportation rehabilitation program, and then $2.4 million of taxable general obligation promissory notes, and that's for the acquisition of about 28 acres of property located at the southeast corner of Howell and Avenue and College Avenue. The Common Council did authorize that land purchase on September 5th, 2025. We're required to make that transaction by the end of the month. So timely there. We do have Justin Fisher, the Managing Director of Public Finance with Baird, with us tonight. He'll come up in a second and provide a little bit more details on the offerings.
Yep. Thank you, Max. Good evening, everyone. It's nice to see you. So tonight I'll run through a quick little municipal market update. We'll go through the timeline financing summary, I'll go through the detailed financing illustrations, and then finish off with the general obligation debt capacity after these financings take place. So as far as a municipal market update, since this weekend, it's been pretty wild with everything going on globally. You've seen the financial markets kind of in turmoil over the last several days. You would typically expect a little bit of flight to quality, is what they call it, when something like this occurs. Where's the safe haven to invest? Typically municipal bonds, treasury rates, etc. We've actually seen kind of the opposite in this situation for the last couple of days because of potential inflationary concerns with oil prices rising, etc. We're anticipating that this is a little bit of a flash in the pan, and hopefully interest rates are going to come back. It only has moved up a little bit, so we anticipate that coming back over the next couple of days to weeks here and be in time for our sale. So that as far as the timeline and financing summary, that's on page 2 of the presentation packet that you have in your agendas. So City Council considers the plan of finance and parameters resolution tonight, giving the authority to sign off on the final note sale within designated parameters to the city administrator or deputy city administrator finance officer. So same process as what the city has used in the past. The preparations are being made for the issuances right now, with the official statement being put together with the help of Max and Andrew and the team. Ultimately, again, this is like the stock prospectus that's going out to the public market. So gathering a bunch of financial information about the city for potential buyers to evaluate and decide if they want to buy it or not. We went through the bond rating process yesterday, had a really good call with Moody's. where the city's outstanding bond credit rating is a AA2. It has been there, but during our call, we felt very good about how they are starting to view the city. Fund balance continues to increase. You guys have done an excellent job with that. Your valuations have grown substantially while keeping your debt very manageable year over year. So that ratio is much better than how it's been several years ago. So and they're just the continued development going on in the city and being very strategic about it. So they're recognizing it and had nothing but nice and good things to say about the city and staff and everything going on here. So that was great. And then if the market is strong and meet council parameters, we're targeting the week of March 19th to jump in the market, closing April 8th of 2026. So the two financings we're talking about is a $4 million general obligation promissory notes. So this is tax exempt, as Max said. Surface Transportation Rehabilitation Program, 10-year financing maturing April 1, 2027 to 2036. First interest being April 1 of 2027 and callable April 1, 2033 or any date thereafter. The estimated interest rate on that is a 3.75 with a max parameter of 4.25%. One of the things that we evaluated and we constantly are evaluating, and then I've been in communication with Max on, is we look at the outstanding debt for the city. And if you recall, we conducted a refinancing about this time last year, captured a significant amount of savings during about March of last year. We looked at your outstanding debt profile, and right now it doesn't make economic sense to refinance anything further, but there is some callable debt coming due this fall that we're going to continue to evaluate. And if it makes economic sense to pull the trigger, we'll bring that to your attention at that particular time. The other financing is a $2,400,000 taxable general obligation promissory note related to the purchase of the land in TID number 10, maturing April 1, 27 to 31. First interest being April 1, 27, non-callable, and estimated interest rate, again, because it's taxable, 4.75% with a max parameter of 5.25%. Going to page 3 of the presentation, a lot of numbers on this page. This is kind of the plan that we developed last year in collaboration with Max and Andrew and the team, developing this longer-term capital improvement plan financing illustration here. So the left side of the page, that's your net existing levy supported debt service, so principal and interest on an annual basis. So you can see how that over time, decreases and then gets completely off the books by 2035. The middle of the page, that's what we're talking about tonight. So that's the $4 million financing. And then you can see the total levy supported after the financing is accounted for. Then we factor in some other hypothetical future borrowings just for good long-term planning purposes. So kind of factoring in all your other long-term capital projects that may be coming, again, up to council approval for future consideration, but we wanted to model in different things in here just to have a full picture of what may be coming. We've got some offsetting revenues, and then ultimately, what is your net levy supported debt service? And that's on that far right side of the page. And really what we're targeting here is that 45 cents to 51 cents of impact for this financing. So you can kind of see over time how that the debt is going to be layered in, strategically year after year to get to a point where essentially then it levels off, factoring in all the potential future projects of the city. So this models and everything, and we're really good shape, kind of looking forward year over year to take these on. The next page 4, this is that taxable promissory note for $2,400,000. You can see trying to amortize it as fast as we can, looking at Max's cash flow pro formas and models and so forth. We didn't want to take it out too far. We didn't want to take it too short and put us in a pinch. So trying to take it over the life of the TID, which you can see ends in 2031 with a final payment. The last page 5, this is your general obligation debt capacity, factoring in pretty much everything that I've shown you tonight, including the hypothetical future issues that may be coming down the pipeline. So when you're looking at this, it's got a lot of different colors in here, and what this is showing is municipalities are allowed to borrow up to 5% of your equalized valuation. Well, now your valuation is above $6 billion. So you've been growing pretty substantially over the last 5 to 10 years. Why that matters is that the more valuation you have, the more capacity you have from a general obligation borrowing capacity standpoint. Now, we never want to go up to the max limit, but we want to monitor this to make sure that you're not getting anywhere near your capacity, because that is something the rating agencies look at. So the black bars here in this graph, that's your outstanding principal on an annual basis. So you can see how that decreases year over year because you're paying down your debts. Then we factor in all these future potential financings into the picture, and the gray bars here, that's your potential remaining capacity at any point in time. So at the end of 2026, after factoring in these financings that we talked about tonight, you can see that you've still got about 71.8% remaining capacity, or about $236 million in borrowing authority still remaining outstanding. So when we look at this tells us you guys are doing very good with managing your debt, because this capacity handful of years ago was closer to that 50%-ish type mark, and now you're at 70% while still getting a lot of these capital investments done throughout the community. So, this just highlights all the hard work that council has been doing, and Max and Andrew over the years. So keep up the good work. Everything is looking very positive.
Good, thank you. Questions, comments?
Thanks, Dan. Justin, I heard you say March 19th is your kind of your target date. Do you have flexibility to go before that if you feel appropriate?
Yes, so it's kind of dependent on when we receive the bond credit rating. So we had that yesterday. They will be getting us the bond credit rating, I believe, within the next week. And then once we have that, that's when we can start looking at potentially jumping into the bond market. So that's when we'll be watching and seeing what's going on. How's the markets? Is it stable? Is it volatile? That type of stuff.
Great. I had a chance to see the Moody's report. Really do appreciate your work with our team and Max.
My pleasure.
Really has helped the city really strengthen its position.
Thank you. You've been at the AA2 for many years now, and that was at the point many years ago. That was a great kind of solid, but you are starting to feel that upward pressure, but you got a lot going on still in the city, right? And there's no slowing down. So, are you going to get an upgrade in the next couple of years? That's anyone's guess, but you're at a very strong AA2 right now. No. At these you're at the high grade category. There's not a huge difference. When we're in a very high interest rate market, like we were a couple of years ago, you will see more of a benefit of being one notch higher. But when interest rates are lower, like we're kind of seeing now, you don't see a huge benefit.
Can I just add, Mayor?
Yes.
Thanks. Thanks, Justin, for the kind words in the presentation. These are really the mechanics of previous decisions you made, and they're very impactful ones, and I thought we should highlight those for the public tonight. Again, the first part of this debt is for the Enhanced Surface Transportation Rehabilitation Program. I know it's a mouthful. They kick me under the table a lot when we talk about this, but that is a generational investment this council made very recently in our roads, our sidewalks, and our trail network. Answering the question of, we like all the new things that are going on in the city, but are you sure you're maintaining and keeping up on the things that we had in this community and the assets we had and share and already paid for? Valid question. So we've answered that with two really big policy pieces, the public safety staffing plan as well as this Enhanced Surface Transportation Rehabilitation Program. So it's really great stuff. And the second part, a really cool economic development strategy. If council recalls, we were running up against an expenditure period in one of our tax increment districts. So in order to have a key development asset to work with, to continue to garner additional net new construction in the community, which is important, we decided to, and were determined to purchase the land before that expenditure period expired. So 27 acres of opportunity for the citizens of Oak Creek going forward to continue to bring businesses and help grow the tax base and share the burden of our services. So just a couple reflection points maybe, but it's good to get to this point. It's a lot of background that I think everyone should be aware of.
Said. Anything else? Okay, seeing no further discussion, motion on 4.
Lork moves to approve the plan of finance for $4 million general obligation promissory notes, Series 2026A, and $2,400,000 taxable general obligation promissory notes, Series 2026B.
Seconds.
Roll call?
Alderman Lorik.
Aye.
Ritz. Aye. Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Haas.
Aye.
And item 5 is consideration of a resolution authorizing the issuance and establishing parameters for the sale of not to exceed 4 million general obligation promissory notes, Series 2026A. Max?
Max Gagan, Deputy City Administrator, Finance Officer. So these are what are referred to the parameters resolutions that we just had related to our last item. So resolution number 12655-030326 is a resolution that authorizes the issuance and establishes parameters for the sale not to exceed $4 million of general obligation promissory notes. And what this does is it provides that the city administrator or deputy city administrator finance officer as an authorized official to sell the notes on any day when the bond market and interest rates are advantageous. So it does set some parameters on those sales. So the maximum price is $4 million and the maximum interest rate would be 4.25%. With that, happy to answer any questions.
Questions for Max? Okay, seeing none, motion on 5.
Lork moves to adopt resolution number 12655-030326, a resolution authorizing the issuance and establishing parameters for the sale of not to exceed $4 million general obligation promissory notes, Series 2026A.
Seconds.
Roll call?
Alderman Ritz. Aye. Gale.
Abstain.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Haas.
Aye.
Lorik.
Aye.
And item 6 is consideration of a resolution authorizing the issuance and establishing parameters for the sale of not to exceed $2.4 million in taxable general obligation promissory notes, Series 2026B. Again, Max.
Max Gagan, Deputy City Administrator, Finance Officer. So this is our last item related to tonight's debt offerings, which is resolution number 12657-030326. Resolution that authorizes the issuance and establishes parameters for the sale of not to exceed $2.4 million of taxable general obligation promissory notes. And again, structured very similarly, this gives the city administrator or deputy city administrator finance officer to be the authorizing official, determine when the notes will be sold. Really gives us flexibility to enter the market when conditions are favorable and interest rates are advantageous. These notes have 2 parameters as well, a maximum price of $4 million and a maximum interest rate of 5.25%. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Max. Okay, seeing none, motion please.
Lork moves to adopt resolution number 12657-030326, a resolution authorizing the issuance and establishing parameters for the sale of not to exceed $2,400,000 taxable general obligation promissory notes, Series 2026B.
Seconds.
Roll call?
Alderman Gale.
Abstain.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Haas.
Aye.
Lorik.
Aye.
Ritz.
Item 7 is Public Works Utility, and it's consideration of a motion to approve proposal to renovate the baseball diamond outfield at Abendschein Park from the Midwest Athletic Fields LLC in the amount of $57,700. Matt?
Thank you, Mayor and Common Council. Well, this seems like a small item compared to the last.
Make sure that microphone's close enough to you, buddy.
I'm sorry. I just said this sounds like a little, kind of a minor item compared to the borrowings the council just considered. But this project is looking to essentially restore and really regrade a large portion of the outfield at the Abendschein Park baseball diamond. From what I can gather, since I was not here or born quite yet, 1972 is when the diamond was first established, and it was actually built over a sewer line buried 40 feet below the entire outfield. There were issues with some surface water pooling, but it was really more in the springtime, so it hadn't been an issue for quite some time until later on when the high school switched its season to springtime. In 2011, 2012, there was a project to have the line run over to the concession and restrooms, so that further disturbed the soil a bit. However, the park's staff was able to install some drain tile there, which made it still playable after a given period of time. Since that point, there's still been issues, but for the most part, it's been playable overall. However, with a new development that we had to the west of the ball field, the outfield was dug up one more time to connect sewer for that subdivision. We did see some impact from that, just from the settling of the excavation that was relatively deep. So we were getting more ponding of water than we had seen before. And then in 2025, we needed to do a sewer project as well to do some lining of the sewer main. With that, unfortunately, they also came in with some equipment and had mats down to try to prevent further damage. Unfortunately, it really caused a lot more significant damage with the sod and everything being torn up. So as we see it right now, if you've been out there by chance, it looks pretty rough. What we're looking to do is, as opposed to just putting more sod down, which really isn't going to fully remedy and solve the problem, what we'd like to do is take the opportunity to use some of the funds from that utility project, approximately $14,000, to offset just fully regrading, resodding, and reestablishing the outfield out there, so that we're not only we're still having ponds and waiting for it to settle out. We want to actually grade it appropriately so that the water has a chance to move across the surface as well as seep into the soil, and really make the field playable and a little bit more safe and level throughout the year. So we did receive a few quotes or proposals from two companies that kind of specialize in athletic field work and restoration. Obviously, the lower bidder was Midwest Athletic Fields, came in at $57,750, which just slightly over half of the other group that had submitted a price. So we are recommending, both groups are similar. I think the other one's a little bit farther away in Illinois and maybe wasn't as hungry for the work. So they put in a quote nonetheless, but it was substantially more than Midwest Fields. So we're asking that the council consider the recommendation from the Park and Rec Commission to award the proposal to Midwest Athletic Fields. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer those.
Questions for Matt on ball field?
Matt, who is potentially going to utilize this field in the future?
The majority of the use has been through the high school junior varsity teams. So that's who's been utilizing it in the past.
Okay, so they've been relegated to off times at the senior high school facility?
Correct.
So they're looking to move back to this place?
Yes, they would like to.
And then we rent that to them, or what's our arrangement with the school district on
I
that?
think through the school district, I don't know that there's a rental in place. I don't think that they
Pay for
certainly
the
reserve
daily
it, but I don't.
maintenance of it, or
I think it's kind of through. I'm not sure if
For the
Andrew
rec
knows through
agreement,
is that part of our MOU with them? Okay. Just, we have to make sure, obviously, we're gonna spend this kind of money on rehabbing a site that's utilized by the school district to make sure that costs are appropriately covered. I know that wasn't the case in prior iterations.
Our idea would hopefully be that it would be rented by more than just the high school.
The club
But
teams
all-
have used it in the past.
But,
you know.
and we will. I don't know that we've really offered it since the big switch to spring and it being more open different times. But also with the beer garden going in, we do look to program that with, adult leagues. I don't know if it would need to require all of that field or that part of the field, but there's certainly some opportunity there to better utilize the field.
Other questions, comments? Okay, seeing none. Motion.
Haas moves to, Haas moves to approve the proposal to renovate the baseball diamond outfield at Abendschein Park from Midwest Athletic Fields LLC in the amount of $57,750.
Lorik seconds.
Roll call.
Alderman Guzekowski.
Aye.
Haas.
Aye.
Lorik.
Aye.
Ritz. Gale.
Aye.
And item 8 is fire. It's consideration of a resolution authorizing an agreement with Paris Physical Therapy and our Paris Performance. Chief Kresick is with us to explain.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Mike Kresick, Fire Chief. Tonight, requesting your consideration to adopt a resolution authorizing the agreement with Aeritas Physical Therapy, Aeritas Performance for fitness training and rehabilitative services. A little bit of background about where we are and what's leading us to this Aeritas agreement. Back in 2022, we entered into a monthly programming with Innovative Health and Fitness to provide on-site directed fitness training for our crews on a weekly basis. That's exactly what our department needed post-COVID. With all the restrictions that went into what we could do during our duty days, getting back to a culture of performance, a culture of fitness, we had a guided approach with that, and that was very successful for us. In 2025, we reviewed that agreement with Innovative to see how that was working. Like most things, it became very repetitive. Our crews were still appreciative of the opportunity to have a trainer come in and work with us, but after about 3 years, it had kind of run its course. So we had a committee made up of labor members, department members, and health and safety committee members that looked at what's next for our performance, injury prevention, and physical fitness needs of the department. Aeritas Physical Therapy, Aeritas Performance is a local firm that specializes in the training and rehabilitation of firefighters throughout the county. What they would provide for us with this agreement is a on-site analysis of individual fitness needs rather than a one-size-fits-all approach. Each of our members would be interviewed and assessed, and a performance improvement program would be developed for each of them based on their needs, maybe past injury history. The workouts would be guided through a fitness app and updates to that app that would provide the recommended modalities and exercises. And then on a monthly basis, there would be a follow-up with the therapist, see how the program's going, see if there's any additional needs moving forward. The cost of the program, per the agreement, $12,000, which comes in below the $16,000 that we had budgeted for the Innovative Health and Fitness programming. I'd be happy to answer any questions about the program, where we were, and where we would like to go.
Questions for Chief?
I have one quick question. On the cost breakdown, the one-time fee, is that one time per member per year, or is that one time, like if you continue this in consecutive years, is that cost reduced out?
So that 12,000 would be a continuous increase or a continuous cost per year, up to a maximum of 3% increase. So that one-time fee would be factored into the following year. We anticipate that there's going to be some fluctuations in that because we're going to have members come in and members go out. So there is going to be some costs we're going to need to absorb as membership changes in that.
Okay.
With the previous program, did you notice strains, sprains, decrease in that program?
Fantastic question. So looking back through 2021, we saw anywhere from 6 to 12 musculoskeletal injuries per year. That's excluding other injury types. And there's a plus or minus to that because that's what's recorded in our injury reporting system. That's a small set of information. I don't think we can make reliable assumptions on where that's trending. Certainly there probably are effects from call volume, the increase in call volume through the years, as well as the type of calls you start to experience in the course of any given year. What we are focusing on and looking for ways to track, though, is the ability to get our members back to health quickly. We know we're going to suffer injuries in the fire service. It's a contact occupation. You are going to have injuries. That's just the nature of the job. how soon we can get our employees back to performing at a full duty status is very interesting to us, and we're looking to see if there are ways to minimize that downtime and bring them back to duty and full life activities as quickly as we can. We feel with a program like this that focuses not only on overall performance for fireground responsibilities and EMS responsibilities, it also focuses on injury prevention and addressing any current injuries you may have and how to mitigate those and work on the path to recovery.
And just one last question. Is it mandatory for all personnel or voluntary?
This program is mandatory.
Any other questions for Chief Kresick?
It's just,
Yeah.
Chief, assuming an personnel is injured and off duty because of injury, how do we actually integrate with them and their off duty time to make sure that how is that how are you looking at how that's done?
So I'm going to tie it to, I think, what Aeritas can do for us performance-wise. Now, we do suffer off-duty injuries. We have a younger workforce, and thankfully, we have a very active workforce.
They're not coming into the building typically, right? If they're off duty, or are they? Or
They may be on
or
light duty.
rehab?
They might be on light duty, or they may be going through rehab with their particular care provider. The advantage we see is, I think when you looked at the agreement, there's a menu of options and services available through Aeritas, and rehabilitative medicine is one of those. We have had members utilize that service for off-duty injuries with success. We've seen members throughout the Milwaukee County Fire Service utilize that service in the same capacity with success. So we would anticipate that there may be some carryover, some tie-over with Aeritas for those off-duty injuries. You have a performance team, a physical therapy team that would have some familiarity with our employee pool, and certainly would provide an option where that may help also speed up those recoveries and get them back to work quicker. That answered your question.
How you when they're not able to work or away from the job, how you coordinate with them?
I'll tell you this much. We, again, with being a younger workforce and being a very active workforce in the fire service, they want to get back to real life, right? They want to get back to what their activities of daily life are. They want to get back to their sports. They want to get back to work. So the motivation for them to continue through a rehabilitative process is there already. We're looking for ways to help them with that, where maybe they can get some of those treatments done quicker, more in a timely manner. So we think that Aeritas may provide a vehicle for that.
Okay, that's good.
Everybody's satisfied? Motion.
House moves to adopt resolution number 12658-03026, authorizing the agreement with Aeritas Physical Therapy, Aeritas Performance.
Lork seconds.
Roll call.
Alderwoman Haas.
Aye.
Lorik.
Aye.
Ritz. Aye. Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Item 9, thank you, Chief. Item 9 is consideration of a resolution accepting the 2025 annual report for the Oak Creek's WPDES stormwater. NR 216.
Thank you, Mayor. Matt Sullivan, Assistant City Administrator and City Engineer. Before you is our annual report that we are required to adopt by council under our permit that is provided to us by the DNR. We do this every year about this time. It's a pretty standard procedure, but I wanted to kind of jump through a slide presentation that our environmental specialist put together, who is pretty much managing our new permit. This just kind of highlights our new permitting process that we've been doing in our reporting. So obviously it requires an annual report to be submitted. We submit everything electronically now, nothing is done through paper, and it's open for public comment as usual. So here's just a kind of a highlight of our team. Obviously myself being the manager, but most of the work is done by Richard and Josie, our field supervisor, environmental specialist. Some new items that we'd like to highlight. Obviously, this is a new permit since April of 2025. Previously, we were working under a permit that was quite old, and actually they continued to just extend it as other communities were going through this new process. We went through a long audit process in 2024 through 2025 to get to this stage. We did revamp our stormwater fee and our GIS mapping. You guys were a large part of that. It opened up several different ways for us to utilize that money, maintenance throughout the city. One of them was our city pond maintenance. As you can see, we're actually beginning that process. It's going in front of Bopwaka next week for contracts for beginning maintenance on 15 of our city-owned ponds. We did bring on one new staff member through the year 2025 that is helping through our erosion control. And then we continue to do our trainings as needed. I believe you guys were all provided a full document, whether that be electronic, we can give paper copies if needed. So one of the highlights is our new drone program. We were fortunate enough to purchase a drone prior to most of the tariffs in that area, so we were able to get one, but it's been able to make us much more efficient in our jobs and our processing through our different inspections that we have to do. We do those for our ponds, we do them for erosion control, we do them for illicit discharge and several other things. And we're starting to utilize it now for doing surveys. We have software and the capability of doing LiDAR surveys just with the drone. So it's really speeding up our process and giving us a much more complete project, and then also utilizing great pictures like this as we give it out to the public. So it's much more efficient and more compatible for the new marketing process that we're going through. One of the bigger items that has really actually helped this year with our new stormwater fee increase is Josie Woger went through a large process on going through every pretty much property throughout the city, looking to make sure that it was meeting all the standards, making sure we were correct in our impervious areas. We utilized several different informational portions, primarily being Milwaukee County, where they have this great GIS database. We're able to bring it in. This pretty much highlights what you can see. You can click on your property, you can see how much impervious, how much ERUs you have, and then what your stormwater fee is. This makes it much easier for us to articulate ourselves when we're giving calls, which we have begun to receive from some of the parcels that weren't getting bills, now getting bills, getting larger bills. But by able to just direct them to this site, it's actually kind of calmed everything down and made it much easier process. But this also gives the ability for anybody to go out there and take a look at what you have and what you can expect to pay. So that's a big deal. So coming up, obviously we're working through a lot of issues through this new permitting process. But one of the main things is we're going to be working through our stormwater ordinance updates, chapter 13. We've been going through this process probably for the last 2 or 3 months with staff. We continue to work through some of the bigger items as the issues do come up. We're hoping to get this to you guys probably mid-summer for consideration on some of the changes. Private pond management, we have actually got a database. So there's over 220 ponds that are private that are to be maintained by HOAs or other agencies. Richard Graber has gone through an extensive process, probably over 6-7 months, pulling together all this data. So now we can start reaching out, contacting, and making sure these ponds are being maintained properly. That's a big program. Obviously, our ditch program, a lot of people have seen it. We did our first larger project this year in Fairfield. I believe it was successful. Learned a lot of lessons, a lot of ways to handle things and do it. We're looking forward to implementing those on our next project, which we're working on currently. Obviously, our stormwater management documentation, there's several things that we have identified that can assist private ponds that we'll be bringing forward. So our maintenance agreements are going to be different as we go forward. Basically, present more information on how to actually maintain your ponds properly. Outfall updates and priority outfall screening. Those are bigger topics for Josie. She goes out and actually does testing for illicit discharges and different things. We actually moved into a new process, which we haven't done probably for over 20 years, to where we're actually doing our own testing and bringing things up. So a lot of good things from our staff. All of this is within our report here. If you guys have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer any of those.
Question from Matt on the annual report. I mean, people don't pay attention to stormwater, but it's really largely important, and there isn't a development that doesn't come through here where stormwater isn't spoken about. We tell that to folks, whether it's a residential subdivision to an industrial building, stormwater is always taken into account. And I think we do a really good job of it here, improving things. I think over my time here, we've seen that.
More to come.
And I'm not sure if this format has changed, I didn't notice it, but it seems a lot more narrative and user-friendly than it has been.
Yes, this is much more consumable for anybody, really. And this is a large part of Josie. She really focused in on this over last year.
Nice job.
Primarily, no, but we are looking at how we can expand those through our program that we're implementing. You'll be surprised actually at how affordable it is to maintain our ponds. We're hoping to take some of that money and starting to look at some of the larger issues where there aren't ponds. Granted, we have a lot of bigger issues with other communities and agencies that we have to deal with, but they're definitely, with the adjustments that we've been taking, this gives us the opportunity, I think, to start really investigating those where we didn't have the available funds to do that prior, or the expertise.
And just to point some things out, last August during the large floods that a lot of municipalities experienced, we had quite a bit of rain down here too. Fortunately, we weren't hit as hard as others, but our city performed very well stormwater-wise. We had some roads shut down, but major damage we did not get inflicted on. That's kind of a credit to what's been going on over the last 20 years here. Credit to you and your team. Okay. There's nothing more. Motion, please, on that resolution.
I'll move to approve Resolution 12656-030326, accepting the 2025 annual report for the Oak Creek's WPD stormwater permit.
Kuzikowski, second.
Roll call.
Alderman Lorik.
Aye.
Ritz.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Haas.
Aye.
And as item 10 is License Committee, I'll turn that over to Alderman Ritz.
Seconds.
Roll call.
Alderman Ritz. Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Haas.
Aye.
Lorik.
Aye. And item 11 is our vendor summary report for February 25th, 2026. Is in the amount of $549,675.91. So please take a look at your packet, and if there are any questions, feel free to take the floor. No questions on the report? Motion, please.
Bill moves to approve the February 25, 2026 vendor summary report in the amount of $549,675.91.
Kuzikowski, second.
Roll call.
Alderman Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Haas.
Aye.
Lorik.
Aye.
Ritz.
And item 12 is consideration of a motion to convene into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin State Statute, Section 19.85, that discuss the following. A, Section 19.85, Sub 1, Sub C, to review and evaluate the job performance and salary of the city administrator. B, section 19.85, sub 1, sub G, for the purpose of conferring legal counsel who will render oral or written advice with respect to litigation in which the city is likely to become involved regarding claims of Jennifer Gabrielle related to property damage at 4244 East Studio Lane. President Gale?
Thank you, Mayor. Gail moves to convene into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin State Statute, Section 19.85, to discuss the following. A, Section 19.85, Sub 1, Sub C, to review and evaluate the job performance and salary of the city administrator. B, Section 19.85, Sub 1, Sub G, for the purpose of conferring with legal counsel who will render oral or written advice with respect to litigation in which the city is likely to become involved regarding claims of Jennifer Gabrielle related to property damage at 4244 East Studio Lane.
Guzekowski will second.
Roll call?
Alderman Guzekowski.
Aye.
Haas.
Aye.
Lorik.
Aye.
Ritz. Gale.
Aye.
We will now convene into closed session and return at its conclusion. Thank you. Open session.
Gail moves to reconvene in open session.
Guzekowski will second.
Roll call?
Alderwoman Haas.
Aye.
Lorik.
Aye.
Ritz.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
And item 14 is consideration to take a motion if action is required. President Gale.
Thank you, Mayor. Gail move to disallow claims of Jennifer Gabrielle related to property damage at 4244 East Studio Lane.
Guzekowski will second.
Roll call?
Alderman Lorik.
Aye.
Ritz.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Haas.
Aye.
And that will move us to adjournment. So just reminder, it is daylight savings time this weekend. So spring ahead. Spring is coming. So spring ahead. Set your clocks and check your smoke detectors. That's what you're supposed to do every time.
Good reminder.
Public service
Only
message.
you can
There you
put
go.
out a forest fire.
Anyways, motion to adjourn, please, if there's no further business.
Seconds.
Roll call.
Alderman Ritz.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Haas.
Aye.
Lorik.
Aye.